So there you have it, Norwich City, champions of the Championship for the 2020-2021 season. A very, very good second half means that we didn't have to rely on the result between Brentford and Watford, which was kind of nice. I think it's always nice when the players win it themselves as opposed to other teams being sort of the factor for the specific result. You know, that was the case for promotion, wasn't it? But these players have gone out there and they've earned the title themselves. Not that they haven't throughout the previous season, but today they definitely have by beating Reading 4-1. A game of two halves is the correct cliche to sort of whack out there, isn't it? Reading started the game fairly well, I think, to be honest with you. I think I was speaking to Sim and Connor before the match, who I was on Terrace Talk with on the Pinken. Simium, a Reading fan, for the Tilehurst end. I always thought it was the Tilhurst, but apparently it's the Tilehurst end. And he was telling us a bit about, I think, the sort of defensive pair being quite young, inexperienced, whatever, and that showed today, didn't it? But Reading in the first half looked really up for it. Norwich didn't. It was a little bit worrying sort of within the context of the game. For the wider season, it wasn't at all, was it? Obviously. But it was kind of frustrating. Norwich managed to make it 1-1. And then in the second half, got out of second gear, got into third, then into fourth, and they sort of cruised it really, didn't they? Now, this is a match reaction, and typically we talk about the matches, but there is sort of an overarching, a few overarching themes, really, isn't there? There's a thank you to Alex Tettey, there's a thank you to Mario Vrancic, potentially a thank you to Max Aarons, potentially a thank you to Emi Buendia. It's sort of a bittersweet feeling, really, isn't it? Because we've won the title today, but there is a chance that those four players may not play at Carrow Road next season for Norwich City anyway, which is kind of sad. Emi Buendia, less so. I think he'll be here next season, but just forgetting the match for now, Alex Tettey, Mario Vrancic, both sort of signify different messages at the club. Mario Vrancic is a product of this new Norwich City recruitment system, and he's been bloody brilliant for Norwich. He's been a fantastic signing. He replaced Johnny Howson. Now, this is the top where I have Johnny Howson on the back. And I remember when he left Norwich, I was so worried, and then this new number 8 came in for peanuts, really, with his blonde hair and his wand of a left foot. And it took him a while to get going, but as has been the case with this sort of Daniel Farker, Stuart Webber system, it's about the patience given to then see the sort of the fruit of the transfer, bear the fruit of the transfer. I'm really not very good at saying stuff sometimes, but yeah, he's been so good for Norwich City, and I'm gutted that he won't be he probably won't be a Norwich City player next season. We don't know. We can't have anything confirmed this weekend, can we? Because of the social media boycott. It's tragic, but at the same time, it's one of those, you know, smart because it happened things. Mario Vrancic, a bloody good footballer. Alex Tettey, again, an absolute Norwich City stalwart, a modern legend. And this up there, in terms of emotion, for me, is with Wes Hoolahan. It's with when Grant Hull left. It's with John Ruddy, as an example as well. The guy is an absolute club legend. And there was this recurring theme, wasn't there, throughout his Norwich City career, where other players would come in. Last season is the best example, I think, as Ibrahim Amadou came in, a player who was rated at, what, £10 million? Didn't work out. Farker went back to Alex Tettey, and that's been the case for managers. They just kept turning back to Alex Tettey because you know what you're getting with him. And somehow as well, he managed to develop his game. Now, I'm not actually sure how old he is, to be honest with you, but at the age he is, you wouldn't expect his game to be developing. But under sort of the coaching of Daniel Farker, it did. He learned how to pass a ball very well. And he is just a modern legend, isn't he? And it's really tragic that we won't see him at Carrow Road next season. And I think Vrancic as well is also sort of a cultural architect. You know, Tettey is always smiling. I can just imagine how pleasing it must be for the other players to go in every day to training and just see his smiling face. And obviously everything he brought to the team, it was so good. And now, it'd be a bit of a pie in the face if he was to go and sign another contract, wouldn't it? But I don't think that's going to be the case. But yeah, Mario Vrancic and Alex Tettey, bloody brilliant players. Now, when I say bittersweet, the bitter comes with that could have been Emi Buendia and Max Aarons' last games for Norwich. I think we'll save that chat for post-season when there's no football to really talk about when we're talking about transfer speculation. So we'll save that for then. But if we turn our attentions back to the game, Norwich City in the second half, really good. And what excites me is Kieran Dowell, to be honest with you. Throughout this season, to reference Mario Vrancic again, the number 10 has been an interesting position for Norwich, hasn't it? It was last season in sort of a darker light, whereas this season a few players have had a go. You've had Marco Stiepermann, Mario Vrancic, now Kieran Dowell, and Kieran Dowell's making it his own. I'm not going to say he's made it his own yet, but he's making it his own. 2 decent goals today, the first being fairly intelligent play, being there at the right time, which again is a sign of an intelligent footballer. The second goal, a really, really good finish, a beautiful ball over from Todd Cantwell, who I think made a lot of difference in the second half. In the first half, he had me pulling my own hair out at times, but you know that Todd Cantwell is a quality player. He stepped up in the second half. You know, that assist for Dowell's goal was really, really good as the goal for me. But yeah, Kieran Dowell, really exciting. I do think Norwich will want to recruit a number 10, to be honest with you, but with Kieran Dowell sort of coming into his own at Norwich City, which is really pleasing because of sort of his injury-plagued season. It's really pleasing for him personally, I can imagine. But with him sort of shining, really, I don't know if they'd splash that much money on a number 10. But yeah, it's all very interesting stuff, isn't it? But yeah, I'm just trying to think about what to say about the game, really. Zonal marking, yeah, not for me. Still not really for me. Omobama Dele, for me, again, was decent, and it's really pleasing. You just forget he's 18 years old, don't you? He plays with such confidence, doesn't he? Pardon me, Jesus wept. But yeah, Omobama Dele just looks so confident. And as I said, you forget he's 18 years old, which is just absolutely bizarre sometimes. But yeah, it's kind of sad. I don't know if it's kind of sad. It is sad, isn't it, that we can't be there for this, and it's kind of sad that we can't see the players lift the trophy at Carrow Road. I did put out a poll on Twitter before the game on the Norwich Talk account, which will be running for a little bit after this video. So as of when I'm recording this game, which is literally just after the game, recording this video, sorry, which is just after the game, I think it was sort of, I begged the question, should the social media boycott have affected whether Norwich City should be able to lift the trophy this weekend? And I think 80% said no, and that's the camp I sit in, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm not going to get too upset about it, but I do think it's sad for those players that they can't sort of lift it at Carrow Road and just post the stuff on Monday or Tuesday whenever the boycott ends. But at the same time, I understand the argument for yes, in terms of this idea that you feel more connected when you're able to interact on social media. Although I think that's sort of as far as I can go with that. I would really like to have seen Norwich lift the title at Carrow Road. We didn't get to see that, did we, the last time we won it, which is kind of sad. But yeah, I don't really want to talk anymore about the game, to be honest with you. Norwich were good. Norwich were always good. Norwich City are pretty good, which is always good. I've said the word good there about 5 times in 15 seconds, which I think is quite impressive. But yeah, I think that's all for the video, to be honest with you. I want to know your thoughts on the game in the comments down below, your thoughts on sort of the Teti, Vrancic, Buendia, Aaron situation. If you have any thoughts you'd like us to speak about in a podcast, because we'll be doing a few of those now as we approach the off-season. Obviously, the review is to come. I believe it could be a 5-part series, because I've thought of a new idea over the past couple of days, which is I want to do sort of a comparison now. I want to pitch this to you. Maybe you can answer this in the comments down below, sort of your initial thoughts. But I like this idea of comparing the 18-19 team to this season's and maybe making a combined 11 to make this sort of Norwich City Daniel Farke mega team. I'm very interested. I haven't really thought about it in terms of my actual answer, but I think that'll be a very interesting lineup. It would be absolutely fascinating. But yeah, that's all to come. Very exciting times. Very much looking forward to reviewing the season. Hopefully we can go and beat Barnsley, end on a win. It'll be a very tough game, but I see absolutely no reason why Norwich City can't do it. I believe I'll be making a video during the week, or maybe a couple of videos if I see any transfer rumours, or in fact they do announce that Teti and Vrancic are leaving. I will be making specific videos for them because they deserve them, to be honest with you. And I've got a lot to say about that, and I'm sure you do too in the comments down below. But yeah, until next time, we'll see you again very, very soon.